Hello, everyone. Today is June the 18th, 2022. It's only about 10:20 a.m. in the morning, but already I've gone to Record Store Day. Today's Record Store Day, and it's Paul McCartney's 80th birthday. And falling on this particular day is a release of a Women and Wives 12-inch record with Paul McCartney doing Women and Wives, his version on side A, and St. Vincent doing her version on side B. And this is the Record Store Day Song of the Year. But I wasn't going to really make a video about this because I didn't have much to say about this Record Store Day. It's relatively small Record Store Day, but the story was interesting enough that I decided to come here and make a video. So I'll tell you what happened. Okay, this McCartney release is very limited. There were only 3,000 of these pressed. So because of that, record stores are getting a very, very tiny supply of these in stock. Some record stores are getting 0 copies of it. So I know a lot of people are having problems getting their copy, from what I'm understanding. Well, my usual record store that I go to, I called in advance a day before, and they told me over there that they did not receive any copies, 0 of the Women and Wives record. So that was going to be out. I couldn't go to my usual record store, but there were 2 more that I could go to, and I decided to go to a store fairly nearby that told me that he received 2 copies of Women and Wives. So I did the usual thing. I got up really early in the morning. I got up about, I think 6:45 a.m. and I got down there by 7:15 or so in the morning, and I waited on the line. Now, when I got there, I was number 3 on the line. There were only 2 people ahead of me, and I had found out that since this guy only got 2 copies of the Paul McCartney record, that if I wasn't at least number 2 on the line, I'm going to be screwed. Turns out of the we 3 who were on the line, the first guy didn't care at all about Paul McCartney, so that was no problem. The second person was a young guy, a college-age student, and he was there for McCartney. So that meant one of the 2 copies had gone already. Luckily for me, I was 3rd online, which meant that I was going to be able to get a copy just by the skin of my teeth. Now, the thing is, this really doesn't have much to do with it. First come, first served, as they say. But the young guy that was ahead of me for Paul, he has no interest in Paul McCartney or the Beatles either. He was actually there for a friend. He was picking up a copy of this for his friend, who, when I asked him about his friend's interest in the Beatles, he said his friend is just a casual fan too. He's not a big fan. Whew. Hey, you pay your money, you get to do what you want with it. First come, first served. But boy, when I think of some of my friends who are real diehard McCartney fans and they can't get it, that's sad to me. Anyway, I thought it was kind of humorous that after a while, waiting online after an hour or so, the store owner came out and he gave everybody an index card, and he wrote on these index cards what number you were in line. The first guy got a number 1, handed to him. The second guy got a number 2, and there was a girl after me was number 4 and 5, and so on and so on. And I thought it was humorous. I mean, he knew me, this record store guy, and he just wrote Mayo. That was good enough for him for number 3. So I thought that was kind of humorous, Anyway, so more to the story before I just show you the record. There's one other store, as I mentioned, a 3rd store, that's a pretty big record store, and they usually get everything on Record Store Day. They get multiple copies. If you're going to go to a place and you want to make sure you get a record you want on Record Store Day, it's usually this 3rd store which will come through because they get a lot of stock. Turns out, we found out that they got 0 copies also of Women and Wives. So it turns out that out of my 3 stores, 2 of them got zilch, and one of them only got 2. So I just made it. And as we waited online, people were coming over from that 3rd store who had missed Paul, and they wanted Paul also. So they were behind me. And boy, if I hadn't gotten there, number 2, I would have missed out. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting story. Just made it. Here is the record. And you got Women and Wives, Paul McCartney. As I say, the St. Vincent remix is on side 2 over there. Now, it has a sticker there, Record Store Day Song of the Year. I was debating whether I should open this now on camera or not. Maybe I will. Why not? Okay, I'm going to do that right here. Be careful, because I often cut myself with this. It's not unknown that when I take an X-Acto knife, not unknown for me to, or uncommon for me to prick myself, as they say, you know. So, just about opened. I wasn't going to open this on camera. I figured maybe I would leave it sealed even, because it's such a hot commodity, but what the heck. Let's see what we got inside here. All right. Nothing else. Pretty standard stuff. Black inner sleeve. Tell the vinyl is very thick. Side A, McCartney. There it is. You can see, look at all that dead wax. You can see it's just a 12-inch single of one song. And I happen to really, really love this song, Women and Wives. I really, really like it a lot. And I got a white label for the St. Vincent side too. Yeah, well, that's it. I lucked out. It could have went any number of ways. You know, the early bird gets the worm, and you have to be on top of it. It's the only way to get what you want sometimes, unless you really know somebody. Well, what happened with you folks? What did you get for Record Store Day? And if you want the Paul album, did you get the Paul album? Talk to you soon.